Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Underline beautiful. What a sunrise. Look at that ocean. It's gorgeous. And there is so much breaking news in sport fishing as boats continue to hunt for albacore after a couple of fish were taken here a couple of days ago. The fever is palpable, but is anybody finding any more albacore? Bluefin tuna, some big ones, some small ones, and spread over a vast area. We'll check in on our friends down in Ensenada, Baja California, Mexico. We've got some huge yellowtail biting at several different islands. And the Coronado Islands, are they back on the bite yet or not? How about the Channel Islands, white seabass and halibut, San Francisco halibut biting, and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. And it is a great morning. You've got to feel blessed in this sunshine, this gorgeous ocean. So many nice people walking up and down the beach, and the sport fishing opportunities that abound here in SoCal and northern Baja are absolutely fantastic. I deeply appreciate it for all the likes you're giving us. Man, that means a lot to us, sharing these videos. And of course, subscribing to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel right here. It means a lot to us. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content, and so much more content for you over on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Thanks for following us there. Also, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views every single day. And I can't thank you enough. And also for visiting our sponsors. That means so much to us. When you jump on the El Patron, or you jump on the Island Spirit, or you go to promarahi.com, or you visit with Tim Marquez or John Lopez, that all means so much to us, and I hear it all the time. You guys are awesome. All right, we've got so much to talk about. Let's go south of the border and start out down in the beautiful coastal Mexican town of Ensenada. I love it down there. The people are so kind and the food so delicious. And there are some great sport fishing opportunities going on right now. You know, offshore, let's talk about that out of Ensenada. First of all, there's quite a bit more marlin starting to show up. I don't know if that's your thing, but it is an indication of warm water species starting to push in. They've caught a few yellowfin tuna, but we have yet to see that really good bite on the yellowfin tuna. That should manifest itself as we push deeper into summer, and in the fall, man, that's when you see that bite really turn on, and some great Dorado fishing to go along with it. Right now, however, if you find the right kelp patty, you can still pick off some really good yellowtail action. Once again, those fish 8 to 20 pounds. They'll bite a bait really well, but they'll also bite a surface iron. You can throw that at them. That's worked really well, and there's quite a bit of bluefin tuna around, spots of the stuff. You'll see it up. A lot of 18 to 30 pound fish. Every once in a while, you'll get one up over 100 pounds. Trolled Mad Mac lures have been working really, really well. In addition to those little dart lures, you know, Daiwa Sakana, 120 grams, something like that. You throw it right in the middle of a foamer, wind on it, and you pray that you're going to get a bite. There's some good offshore action in Ensenada. Inshore, we continue to see yellowtail breezing around and putting on a good show. Throwing a surface iron in the middle of that is a good way to get a bite. There's great calico and sand bass action. There's plenty of rockfish, and there's barracuda flurries and big bonita. There's a real good variety and great fishing in Ensenada with the operators down there. Hope you can get down there south of the border very, very soon. How about a 64-pound yellowtail, huge yellow, on board the Royal Star? That is a beautiful fish. On the long-range scene right now, we're talking 8 days. Guys going down to the Alijos Rocks region and surrounding areas have been really blessed with some great variety and great fishing. Yellowfin tuna, a lot of it 40 to 70 pounds. Some great wahoo fishing here recently. We've seen some really big wahoo. And of course, yellowtail action's been great. Dropper looping in the early morning hours and at night, and then transitioning into being on the anchor and fishing yellows and yellowfin tuna. It has been fantastic for all the long range guys who are down there. So great fishing going on. If you're on an 8-day trip right now, you are having great fishing and gorgeous weather, and it is flat beautiful down here. I do see some white termbirds picking around. You might see that in the background. Indication that there is some predators here on all the bait that we have here right now. So really good stuff. Let's talk bluefin tuna out of San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands, because there's fish spread all over the place. Most of that big fish remains up there near San Clemente, San Nicolas Island. There's some big bluefin tuna in that neck of the woods. Perfectly accessible for Channel Island boats. Perfectly accessible for all the boats here in the LA Orange County area. And San Diego boats are also running up there to fish it when they are on multi-day trips. And there's still some very good fishing going on. The Royal Polaris had some good nighttime fishing last night on the bigger grade bluefin tuna. Nice hit for them. The new low end just returned with 55 bluefin tuna to 170 pounds. That was a 3-day trip. New low end all over the big fish. They do a great job. The Amigo had 25 bluefin tuna. Most of this fish around Catalina Island and San Clemente Island is a little bit smaller, great, like 18 to 30 pounds, but you can hardly beat it. Great stuff. Lots of big foamers everywhere. It's exciting fishing. Throwing those dart jigs is a good way to go, or a really good hot bait, but we're seeing that turn on all the time. I mean, the full day boat Pursuit had 11 bluefin the other day, 3 bluefin yesterday out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. So I'm telling you, this is for real. It is really as good as you could possibly want it in terms of what we are seeing. Now, sometimes the catching is not as good as we would like it, but that's fishing. You know, some days those fish are really finicky, and some days they bite nails. So we'll continue to watch it very closely. The Polaris Supreme 3-day trip, 108 on the bluefin tuna. Pretty darn good stuff. Captain Greg on the Aztec, he's got some tackle tips for you while a couple of guys battle marlin back behind him. Really great stuff. Greg, take it away.
Hey, good morning, guys. Captain Greg with the Aztec. Tackle recommendation for the day. Right now we got some beautiful weather. We're seeing some mixed grade bluefin. Pretty much what we're catching right now is 25, 30-pound fish. We're fishing with 25 and 30-pound blue label, number 2 Mutu hooks, and just kind of tackle adequate for it. That's what we're doing right now. We're actually pulling on a marlin right now, which is pretty cool. A little fun addition, but
Two marlin.
A lot of fish around, and having some good times. Check in with you guys in a bit.
All right, Greg looks like so much fun to fish with on board the Aztec. They've been having some pretty good bluefin tuna fishing, finding some kelps with some Dorado on it also. So there is a lot of that going on. All right, speaking of the kelp patties, you go down and you start to look around. It's a numbers game. You find that right kelp patty, and you get well in a hurry with some really excellent action. You don't find that right kelp patty, and you have a bummer day. No question about it. Not a lot of Dorado, but more and more Dorado. And, you know, with Greg there fishing and giving those tackle tips with those marlin going, that's a warm water indicator. Again, we're seeing more marlin down there around Ensenada, and we're seeing it up even closer to San Diego. So some really excellent stuff going on. Warm water species starting to push in. I'm thinking we're going to have one heck of a fall out of San Diego. So kelps are still holding. Let's start talking about our islands now. The Coronado Islands, man, did that shut off the other day. Just went down the tubes on us. But we think we know why. It had a 3-degree, even better than that, water temperature drop, and the water kind of mucked up. But yesterday, that water warmed up and cleaned up, and those forkies were back on the bite again. The San Diego just missed hitting a hump on the yellowtail. They ended up with 95 yellowtail on board the San Diego out of C4 sport fishing, 8 to 20-pound fish, biting the bait really, really well. 25-pound fluorocarbon worked great, but a lot of guys were getting bit on the 40-pound. And yes, you can catch these yellows on the surface iron. It seems like you'll get bigger grade fish on that surface iron. Really nice hit for them. The Grande, nice hit for them also with 74 yellowtail. Mission Bell, 24 yellowtail. The Grande, 25 yellowtail. Again, there's a mix of other species. If you want to catch calico bass or some rockfish, other stuff like that, you can do it. But most of these guys are focused like a laser in on this exceptional yellowtail bite. And the bite at the Coronado Islands is back on again. It is so good to see that water temps back to normal in a tremendous year at the Coronado Islands. Best I've seen in many, many, many years. Hey, unfiled taxes? You want to visit Tim Marquez at A Best Income Tax. Check out Tim. Give him a call right now. He'll take really good care of you. And heating and or air conditioning needs, make sure you visit John Lopez. Give John a call today at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. So some really great fishing at the Coronado Islands. San Clemente Island, we can hardly beat what's going on there. Huge yellows, opportunities for white sea bass and halibut. Great calico bass fishing. The bluefin tuna nearby also. San Clemente Island is fabulous right now, and it's just not slowing down at all. Bob Looney was on board the producer yesterday, and he said, Phil, this is as good as it gets. Excellent fishing. 29 guys, 82 big yellowtail, some of them blowing out on the surface line. Really, really great stuff. And also a lot of bait fish. Tremendous fishing at SCI. Bob Looney said, hey, I got to meet a couple of guys from the Fibbers Christian Fishing Club. Really great guys, Bob said. Such a pleasure to fish with them. And one of those guys was Dan Ross. Dan Ross said, copious, Dan's words, not mine, copious amounts of yellowtail. Dan, so happy that you had such a great trip. You met Bob, and all of you guys just put the wood to him on this great trip. Dan had several big yellowtail, raved about the producer and the great fishing. And they did go off looking yesterday for albacore. They went out to where some albacore were caught on a private boat a couple days ago, on a yacht, I should say, and nothing. Didn't see a signal, didn't see a sign. Doesn't mean that there's not a lot of albacore around. Those fish can move quite a distance in a very short period of time. So we'll see. Guys are still spreading out. In fact, Chef Jason, he's the chef on board the Amigo, late last night sent me a message and said, we may be looking for albacore today, Friday. So maybe they're out looking. I don't know if they have some intel or what's going on, because they've got all this great yellowtail action and everything else. Maybe they're going to hammer on the yellows in the morning at San Clemente Island and then move offshore and take a look around. Anyway, other guys are still looking for albacore, and we're watching that for you very, very closely. Dropper loop fishing in the early morning hours in the dark over there at San Clemente Island with live squid. Those squid beds are attracting all kinds of predators. And then daytime fishing, outstanding. If you have some squid, you can fish out there, biting the sardine really well, and the iron also. San Clemente Island, really good. Elsa Flores was on board the Pride. Check out those giant yellowtail, and there's bluefin tuna that they caught on that trip. They had just a spectacular trip. Elsa, so great to see you having such a spectacular trip. Mark Sonoda, it was his birthday recently on board the Amigo. Check out the deck of the Amigo. Those are big, fat yellowtail, just under 40 fish on the Amigo. San Clemente Island, and also Santa Barbara Island, where some other guys has been producing magnificently. We can't thank you enough for taking advantage of that bite, and hope you can get out again really, really soon. So really great stuff going on. Let's talk Catalina Island. More and more yellowtail there on board the El Patron. They've had some good yellowtail fishing. They're picking a few fish just about every single day. There's calico bass, there's barracuda, there's bluefin tuna, not too far from there. That's an option available to you. The El Patron sold out all weekend long, but they have some room on their weekday trips out of Long Beach sport fishing, and you better act fast and get on the El Patron by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org and get on the El Patron. Jake Maestro, son of David Maestro. David out there tutoring his son on board the Pursuit. He went 2 for 2 on board the Pursuit on the yellowtail. Nice hit for him. As you see that nice forky coming on board, and Captain Gus putting a stick in it. Nice one there. So some yellows at Cat. I keep thinking that, with all these yellows at the Coronado Islands and San Clemente Island, Santa Barbara Island, Cat's going to get invaded one of these days, and it's going to go full speed. Has yet to happen, but hopefully it's going to be going on here very, very soon. Up there in the Channel Islands, the Endeavor does it again. Ventura Sport Fishing. What a trip on board the Endeavor. It simply doesn't get any better. They had only 12 anglers, an overnight trip, 32 halibut, and also a dozen white sea bass to go along with it. They are out right now, and word is they might be catching some white sea bass already here today. Doug Tilk is on that trip, a great Friedman Adventures family member. Eddie Berrigan, it's a 2-day trip on the Endeavor. We'll keep you in touch with that. I might have some white sea bass in my future. Good morning, Lupe, as some more surf fishermen go by also. So Really fun stuff. Active surf, as I have been mentioning to you, on an absolutely pristine and gorgeous morning. So, Cat, looking good. Channel Islands, looking good. I don't know how you can beat what is going on right now. Don't forget, 10% off when you go to promarahi.com on their lobster hoop nets. I know it's early for that, but they've got gaffs and gloves and jigs and so much more. You put in FA at checkout, and they're going to knock off an additional 10%. Don't forget, new fluorocarbon, GT4 fluorocarbon at promarahi.com. More fluoro for less money and a 10% discount when you check out with FA. Really good stuff going on. Let's talk the local boats now. We'll start in San Diego, where their sand bass bite continues excellent right now, like kind of like a throwback to days gone by. That's how good that SB bite has been down there. Sandies are biting the plastics. Some of those fish on a small little jig, like a chrome jig, that's working well. But bait is the go-to with a dropper loop rig. That's been a great way to catch these sand bass. Drop down to 15-pound floral, you'll get even more bites. 20 seems to work really, really well. Great fishing there. A lot of calico bass up there around Dana Point. A lot of fish being released, but not bad. The Victory had over 100 sand bass here out of Long Beach and up there out of San Pedro. Some of those local boats are picking at the sand bass and calico bass. Some days they're a little bit better, and some days they're fishing sculpin whitefish. Again, up there out of Redondo, Marina del Rey, mostly sculpin whitefish with a little bit of bass. Some good twilight fishing. I assume they're going to have some good twilight fishing on sand and calico bass tonight. And up in the Channel Islands, the Island Spirit with good rockfish. There's a lot of barracuda and a lot of calico bass. Some guys getting in on that. Also up there in the Channel Islands at Santa Cruz and Anacapa Island, when they run their local trips, and that bluefin tuna is real close now. Some of that fish within 30 miles of Channel Island Harbor. That is great stuff. The gray light had 4 white sea bass, 4 bluefin tuna yesterday. So there's some really good stuff going on. Also, the Mirage up there yesterday, they ended up with 4 halibut and 3 white sea bass. There's some really great fishing in the Channel Islands. Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. You should get on board. Kids fish free this Sunday. Paid adult, kid 12 years and under, and the kid goes for free. 805-676-3474, or go to www.venturasportfishing.com and get on board the Island Spirit. You're going to have a lot of fun with Captain Daniel Hottaway. I guarantee it. So some good stuff going on. Surf fishing. There's a lot of guys fishing the surf. I'm keeping an eye on them. I'm not trying to lose eye contact with you, but I am keeping an eye on these guys in case I need to run down there and show you some extraordinary catch that they made this morning. Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway await you right now. They've got all the bait you'll need, the tackle from trout fishing right on up to big game bluefin, but most importantly, they're giving away a free custom gorgeous surf fishing rod every single month. It's beautiful. All you have to do is go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle, purchase the ruler that you will use to measure your catch with, and they'll give you all the rules. Some good surf fishing up and down the coast down there in Huntington Beach. We're seeing a lot of corbina and yellowfin croaker. Here, I haven't seen anything caught this morning, but there's been a few more spotfin croaker, yellowfin croaker, and occasional halibut taken here. Part of the problem has been, whoa, there's a pelican right on cue hitting the water for the bait, and another one maybe going to hit the water. There's been some halibut taken in here, lucky crab lures, or those little chrome crocodiles up in the Santa Monica Bay. We see some good corbina fishing around the Topaz Rock Jetty over by the Redondo Pier and down on Rats Beach. Also, quite a bit of yellowfin croaker there. Also, El Segundo area, also a lot of yellowfin croaker and occasional nice halibut in that neck of the woods. The California Dawn up there in San Francisco Bay. Man, have they been hammering on the halibut, and they did it again yesterday. And Frank and Lori Savino, a couple of great friends of mine and old captains here in Southern California. They were out. They raved about the California Dawn. Great halibut fishing. They had a wonderful time, and it's so good to see you too. My friends, I'm so happy you're up there having a good time. Glen Helen Lake is a really small little lake in San Bernardino County. I just thought I'd show you. They're putting 480 pounds of catfish in that little tiny lake. So there you go. There's a hot tip for you. You want to catch some cats, Glen Helen Lake, San Bernardino County. It has quite a bit of catfish in there. while it lasts. All right, my friends, so much to watch. Will there be any progress on the albacore on this beautiful day and this gorgeous weekend when the coverage will increase? Bluefin tuna everywhere. Huge yellows at St. Clemente. Great yellowtail action over there at the Coronado Islands. And I think the Endeavor is catching white sea bass right now. Little birdie told me something, and hopefully I'll be able to break that to you in just a little bit. Have a great and gorgeous Friday and a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for all the likes, for subscribing, and everything you do for Friedman Adventures. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon. Have a great morning and a wonderful weekend.